Have you ever seen a courtroom go completely silent because of one teenager's courage? Stay with me. This story will leave you speechless. A young boy named Daniel, just 16 years old, walked nervously into a courtroom. His hands trembled as he clutched his notebook. He wasn't there as a defendant or a witness. He was there to simply tell the truth. Daniel had lived in his neighborhood all his life, but his biggest challenge wasn't the HOA disputes that had torn his family apart. It was his stutter. Every word felt like a mountain he had to climb. And while his parents supported him, the HOA president, nicknamed Karen by the community, mocked him relentlessly. When Daniel's family challenged the HOA in court over unfair fines, Karen leaned back in her chair, smirking, as Daniel stood up to speak. Her laughter cut through the room. "Oh, this should be fun," she whispered loud enough for people to hear. Daniel's face flushed red. He opened his mouth, and the first word got stuck. His voice cracked. People in the gallery shifted uncomfortably. Some chuckling quietly. Daniel's eyes dropped to the floor. But then something remarkable happened. The judge, an older man with a stern yet kind gaze, raised his hand. "Enough," he said sharply. His voice boomed through the courtroom. "I will not have a child mocked for his courage to speak. Everyone, silence." The room froze. Karen's smirk disappeared. Even Daniel lifted his head in shock. The judge leaned forward. "Young man, take your time. This court will wait for you. What you have to say matters." Daniel swallowed hard, nodded, and tried again. His words came slowly, but they came. He explained how the HOA unfairly fined his family for things as small as a mailbox color, and how Karen publicly mocked him every time he tried to ask questions at meetings. He shared how it made him feel unwanted in his own neighborhood. Every pause, every stumble in his speech carried weight. By the time Daniel finished, the entire courtroom was silent, not out of mockery, but out of respect. The judge leaned back in his chair, eyes locked on Karen. "You should be ashamed," he said coldly. "This young man has more courage than this entire board combined." Karen's face burned red. She looked down, unable to meet Daniel's eyes. The judge then ruled in Daniel's family's favor, dismissing the unfair fines and issuing a stern warning to the HOA. But what everyone remembered that day wasn't just the ruling, it was the moment a teenager, mocked for his stutter, stood taller than those who ridiculed him. As the court adjourned, Daniel's father placed a hand on his shoulder. "You did it, son," he whispered proudly. Daniel smiled for the first time in weeks, and the same courtroom that once chuckled at his stutter now looked at him with admiration. So, the next time you think your voice doesn't matter, remember, Daniel, sometimes, even with a shaky voice, you can shake an entire room.